I have issues with confrontation for sure, but I feel
Do
very.
you?
I feel very. I think my favorite thing about a piece of theater is that you feel like you have real creative ownership over it, and because you go out there and at the end of the day you're the one giving the performance and nobody's editing or curating it for you. And I sometimes struggle to feel that way with on-camera projects, that I could really feel some sort of ownership and responsibility on a whole. And so for Ryan to give me the opportunity to have a seat at the table creatively and to be involved as a producer really sort of put a fire under my butt to invest in the whole piece, and not just in my own performance, which was a beautiful experience, and I hope to keep doing it. For me, it was more about trying to lead the cast with as much responsibility as possible and foster a community on set of family and people to feel trusted, and like they could come to me with things, and I could sort of be a liaison between the creative team and the cast. And particularly since I was the only member of the team that was there all the time, because sometimes Brad's directing, sometimes Ryan's directing, sometimes Ian's directing, and so to be a constant there was I tried to be sort of a stalwart for everybody.
I think there's parts of her in me for sure, but she's definitely a departure from anything I've played or anything I think I've read. It was challenging and fun and different, and...
What was the inner animal that is her inner animal?
She's an octopus with broken tentacles.
Of course. For a second I wanted to say she was a penguin, but I knew that was wrong.
She could be a penguin.
I didn't see that coming. I think octopi are very mercurial and very smart, and they're able to literally blend into wherever they need to survive. They can literally turn into a different creature in appearance if they need to. It's not because they're trying to be manipulative or because they're trying to lie to you, it's because they're doing it to survive. And so she feels like an octopus, and the broken tentacle element is that she's just been isolated and restrained and like held back, and so I wanted her limbs to feel like weak and like lacking mobility.
I am not nearly as assertive. I have issues with confrontation for sure, but I feel very.
Do you?
I feel very driven. I have a lot of ambition, and I've always been very focused on my goals and what I want to accomplish, and I think that part of him is very inspiring.
I don't know. I know I personally have the habit of being kind of apologetic for myself, or trying always to be most polite than anything else. But Astrid, absolutely, that is not a priority for her. She is very, very outspoken, and doesn't tiptoe around anything or anyone. So that was it's very liberating.
Yeah, I think it's just really amazing to play a character that's so comfortably themselves, and I think that that's the most fun. It's like you get to just be unapologetic, and anyone can use more of that, so It's really fun.
I think for me, more of a general vibe of a lot of different politicians and TV personalities that I'd seen who were very effusive and confident and able to really own the room and galvanize a crowd, and had a really good distilled version of character version of themselves.
I wasn't necessarily thinking of anyone, but yeah, she's a fictional character in a fictional world, and I felt very lucky that I had Jessica playing Dusty, because we were always we had each other to gauge if we were going too far or needed to push further. We were kind of each other's barometer for insanity.
I think that is one of mine, the pink Rachel Comey dress. And the white boots. Astrid's kind of very iconic white boots with everything.
Mine is also a Rachel Comey lime green power suit, and I had these amazing Celine heeled loafers. There's a scene where I'm in the restaurant with Ben and Theo and I are just yelling at each other, and it's really fun.
I think when we were all together, it was a lot of fun. Most of my scenes were with Ben or my parents, so when we got to be in that auditorium all together on the debate scenes and such, it was always a really fun atmosphere. It felt like a school trip. Dusty, her line about Halloween.
It's so good, and the brilliant thing about Jessica Lange is most of that was improv. So she would just say things, and nobody ruined the take by laughing. It was used.
So good. Like
I
you?
don't know. I mean, gosh, I could be eating my words, but I highly doubt that they will use singing in this next season unless it's for something very specific. But the thing that's cool is that the singing isn't really, it's just used for the plot. Like, it comes from the story. So it's not like people just burst out into song.
Yeah, it's so organic.
Yeah.
Ditch the fake self. It's just, I mean, I think it's so easy to slip into, especially in the context of school, when you're still, like you were saying, like working yourself out and trying to understand how you feel about everything. I think you're so vulnerable in that environment that it's easier to kind of create a protective facade. But I felt I had to do it when I was younger. It just seems like such a waste of time.
Yeah,
and
it's a waste of time and energy.
The earlier you can find your self, the quicker you find your people as well.
Yeah. No, I think just like as long as you're honest, you can't be ashamed of anything you do.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thanks, Missy.
I guess I would say to any person that authenticity doesn't always have to look like unfiltered vulnerability. I think that's very important, and to show your flaws and your your shortcomings is definitely important. But it's also perfectly healthy and respectable and authentic to want to put your best foot forward and want to show a good version of yourself and want to show your confidence and what you're proud of and what you're good at. I think that those things can be authentic too. And it's okay to feel that one thing is your authentic self and then change your mind. I don't think you need to be stubborn and sticking to, like, the person who I think I was very clear about who I was at 19 or 20 isn't necessarily who I think I am now, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think that to echo that is just don't be so hard on yourself.
Yes.
It's really easy to get into a shame spiral about either or, about being too, not authentic enough to whatever. Just like give yourself a break for 2.3 seconds. Stop being so hard on yourself.
And not a millisecond more.
Don't treat yourself the way I think we treat ourselves so badly. The things that we say to ourselves, I would never say the things I say about myself about other people. I would never talk to somebody else the way I talk to myself. It's like we learn manners about in relation to strangers and other people, but we never learn it to ourselves. Have some respect for your freaking self.
Yeah, man.